Okay, I'm gonna do another review, and I figured since I'm doing a review of, I did a video about death in comics. I figured I'd review one of the most famous deaths in comics, the death of Superman. I'm gonna review the whole trade. And odds are there'll be a video about Doomsday after this that I've already pre-made, but you'll see it. Okay, now I got this around I think 2008. Actually, I think a few days before Christmas I got this. This was basically, just an impulse buy. It was cheap. I had money and figured I'd get it. Now the story, everyone knows basically the story of this. Superman fights Doomsday and dies. That's honestly all you need to know. Honestly. Well, let me go for the story here. So we see a lead up of basically panels of a fist punching a wall, and more he punches in, it's revealed that this fist is Doomsday's fist, and he's breaking out of his prison. And power plant somewhere in Metropolis is getting attacked by these weird monsters, who I don't even know. And kid's trying to call in Superman. Superman eventually stops him. I don't even know if they have actual names. I don't care. I haven't read this in a while. And then something happens. A big rig somewhere in Ohio gets destroyed. This calls out the Justice League, which brings them all in. The Justice League here is, now trust me, if you don't know these people, you're not alone. The Justice League is made up of Guy Gardner, who's not a Green Lantern. He's just Guy Gardner. Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, Booster Gold, Maxima, Fire, Ice, and Bloodwind. For those of you who don't know what Bloodwind is, no one knows who Bloodwind is. I don't even know. I think he was last. They haven't used him. Under any circumstance, have they really used him since this story? His last thing was in a miniseries, in a book called Day of Judgment, which was a Jeff Johns thing, which you'll never find. You'll never find. I don't think they ever reprinted it. It was one of the first things Johns ever done, and I've never read it. It was done in 99. He's honestly just some obscure character that was created in the Justice League by Dan Jurgens, who was writing and drawing it at the time. Anyway, they find Doomsday, they fight him. Somehow they don't die. That's my little complaint. How come, okay, fine, I can understand that these guys can't beat him, but Superman beats him, he has to fight to the death to do it? Apparently Doomsday was just just kind of letting off on him easy, because you think he would have killed him instantly. And while they're doing this, a house somewhere near the area they're fighting gets destroyed, and boys and his teenagers, his mother who's been divorced, and his little sisters begging for their lives. Fight keeps going. Superman's getting interviewed by Cat Grant while this is all happening, and then Superman finally comes, and fighting, more fighting. Honestly, this book was mostly just a slugfest. I do want to do more in this video. I figured just talking about the story wasn't enough, and I know I'm already 40 minutes in at this point, but why this happened? Why did they decide to do the death of? Well, according to the Superman Doomsday, on the documentary about how the comic book creators, how they made it, they were originally going to do the wedding around this time, but Lois and Clark was going to start up, and they didn't want DC to do the wedding before they did the wedding. And if you're wondering how the hell that stops them, well, Warner Brothers own them, so they could essentially just stop it, which I think is kind of weird. So all of a sudden they came up with let's just kill him, which just happened, and they went with it. Dan Jurgens created it. All the people who made this, writing-wise, was Dan Jurgens, Jerry Ordway, Louis Simonson, Roger Stern, all people who have made an imprint. I don't know what any of these people are. Let's see, Dan Jurgens, he's doing Booster Gold, his creation, the character he created, he's writing and drawing. Jerry Ordway, he's just doing some fill-in stuff here and there. Louis Simonson, I don't know what she's doing. I think she's co-writing the World of Warcraft comic with her husband Walter Simonson, and I do know she's doing a X Factor Forever miniseries. Roger Stern, Spider-Man writer, he's one of the legends. Art done by Dan Jurgens, but with Tom Grummett, Jackson Geist, or Butch Geist, if many people know him, and Jean Bugduvant. I can't say the name, I'm sorry. People have weird names. What are all these people doing? Again, Jurgens already said what he's doing. I do know Tom Grummett is doing the art on X-Men Forever on and off. Sometimes they're fill-in artists. I don't. Butch Geist, I think he's been doing some. He did some Captain America, Ed Brubaker's Captain America. He did that Who Will Wield the Shield one shot. John Bogdanov. He honestly just kind of he faded. He's been associated with a film project, but he's just kind of faded off the world. I don't know. I guess they realized no one needed him. No offense to you. This was a big moment then. It's not a great story. It was the 90s. The art in here is Dan Jurgens is probably the best, but it's 90s art. You'll have your troubles looking at it, but you'll forgive it. The fight scenes are good. The one thing I loved and the dynamic they did was, I think if you go back, like the last 4 issues that make up this book, when the fight starts, the 4th from the last issue, there's 1 panel per page. There's like 4 panels per page. The next issue is 3 panels per page. Second to last issue, the issue before the last issue is 2 panels per page, and then the final issue is just splash pages. It's a way of ratcheting up the fight. It's a very interesting thing, and it's just great. The cover of the actual trade, I think it's the one where you see the flag. That is just awesome. This is it. I'm giving it a high rating because it just kind of caught me on it just kind of caught me because it was a big event. It's a big moment in history. The fights were the way the fight was done was actually kind of entertaining to me. The story, meh. The art was. There was no story in here. The funerals where the story stuff comes on, they admit that. This was just a big slugfest. Art, it worked. So I gotta get this 8 out of 10, simple. That's all I got. I'll review the World Without and the Return someday. I'm not gonna do it right after. I don't feel like doing it right after. So this is, me signing off.